This Might Be Risky sponsorship package is here. Have your ad run on our live streaming episodes, linked in the video description and attached to our many hot take clips. The channel is fast growing with thousands of views and subscribers. Don't miss your chance to grow your business on one of the fastest growing platforms on YouTube. Join the family today. This might be risky. Email us at thismightberisky@gmail.com if interested. Hashtag Indeed, hashtag do the right thing.
The message is always in the cloth, the colors, the designs, the fit. Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
Direction, choose your own path.
Don't just wear anything. Wear garments that mean something.
Basically, pay attention, stay alert, and remember, choose your own path.
That's the nature of our Black culture now.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is y'all are speaking as though y'all have literally met with, sat with, been in the home with, and interviewed every single female home to know that that is humanly impossible. The things that you're saying, it's like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but a lot of that I actually execute in my home. So I'm confused as to what you guys mean when you say you particularly, Mr. Bravado, that's humanly impossible for any woman on the face of this earth.
Because she doesn't understand the tenets of man. Let me tell you something. The tenets of manhood. We are programmed to sacrifice for the collective. Sacrifice our resources, sacrifice our time, sacrifice our
respectfully though, because you are singing the same song and dance. You're speaking about the majority. We're gonna agree with that all day. I'm with you with that all day, right? I said that women tend to be nurturers by nature. The fathers tend to be more the disciplinarians in the home by nature. We're gonna sing that same song and dance this entire podcast. I'm speaking about those rare situations where it is actually possible that a woman can execute those things, and in some ways better than a man.
It will never be better than a man. And then the things that you think you can
so not even better than the worst.
The things that the things that you feel you can execute well, you think you're executing them based on what you think your perception of what that a man is or what a man would do. You don't know because you're not that. You don't have that biological that instinctual makeup that we have. You don't have it.
Right. So
you don't have it.
I asked you the question, which you failed to answer. So is there any man on this podcast that would want to answer that question? Or do y'all agree with him that there just can't be a list because we really can't answer it? Because we know that when we answer it, you're going to prove us wrong by saying, yes, it's possible. Because that's what it's giving. It's giving that you don't want to be wrong.
No,
so
it's not about not want to be wrong. How about you just want to be right? You want to try to figure out a way to circumvent the role and responsibility of the fathers, and that's not what we're doing up here today.
Right.
Because
how can we actually answer the questions that are being asked?
No, I answered the question because I answered the question. You didn't like the answer because I told you that I understand what you're doing. You want a chronological list of tasks.
So you feel like you successfully answered the question?
Yes, being a man raising, turning a young boy into a man is not about a checkoff list that you go down. And if I have these 10 things on these 10 tasks that I do, then I can produce.
But those are your words. I asked you specifically what it would be, and you turned it into, well, what you're looking for is a checklist. I want a fucking answer to the question, not a checklist.
Asking
what is the actual answer?
Asking me exactly specifically everything that a guy can do. That's a list. You're looking for a checklist. There are things. There are nuances. There are things about manhood tendency and female tendency to womanhood that they're intangible things. They're only things that can be taught. There can only things that can be taught in the moment. There can only be things be based on the actual experience that is happening at the time. Like I told you with my grandfather, that was the first time that I actually questioned my behavior and how I respond to things and how I think about things and how I process things. That was the start of it. Doesn't mean I changed in that moment. A lot of guys in our generational collective understand, a lot of us are just now coming to this understanding. And so a lot of us are at 35, 40 years old, are just now starting to seek out what it actually means in real time for us. And we're gonna probably die not getting the full scope of it because too many of us didn't have that to have that to begin with.
So do you feel like it's difficult for you to agree with me on part of what I'm saying because you had that father wound and you have resentment towards your mother?
I don't have any resentment towards my mother at all. I'm asking. Yeah, and okay. I do agree with you on the aspect that a woman can raise a man with integrity. I believe she can raise a man of character. I believe she can instill morals because women are the first teachers of the child. You're the first teacher. Mm-hmm. So those tenets, those principles that a guy needs, you can absolutely do that. But there are other structural and behavioral components that you cannot do. And a lot of it is really going to come down, and especially for a lot of women that have raised their. My grandmother raised me, so she has 4 male children, and then she raised me, which makes me the 5th male in the home. Her 4 male children, have been some of the most reckless men I've ever seen in my life. But her grandson, who came out of that same home, is not. So, and the reason why that is, we have different fathers. We have different fathers with different temperaments, with different ideology, with different lineage. So a lot of times when you ladies have young men that turn into something without the father in the house, that could be a genetic trait going forward. That's how I was able to try to figure out, why was I so different than the other males that were raised in the same home with the same woman? Why am I the more productive version of all of the men that she's raised? Why I'm the one that's taking care of the family? Why am I, as the grandson, the head of the family instead of her oldest son?
All right, I see what's happening though. So you're dropping a lot of knowledge, but it's a lot at the same time. I think the succinct points, then cute, because she's gonna keep asking you the same question because she feel like it's not an answer, because it feels a little bit like I know, I understand, I can hear it, but it feels like a little bit of a word salad. And so that's when she can be like, well, nigga, answer the question again. Real